Sounds good. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Like I said, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're located. Hope everyone's day is going well. Today, we are going to be covering optimizing for ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini, how brands stay visible in AI answers. We ask that if you do have any questions throughout this webinar, you hit that chat button on the bottom, put your question in the chat. We'll be monitoring that throughout and answering questions as they pop up. We also ask
I have
that,
a question.
oh, what's up?
Uh, yeah, again, anybody, I believe we are audible. If you guys can answer that question by just typing yes, that should be good.
Give us a reaction, give us a thumbs up. Okay, got some answers in the chat. Perfect. We're
Yeah.
good to go with audio. Thank you. And we're going to ask that you guys stay on mute throughout the duration of the webinar. Like I said, if you do have questions, hit the chat button, enter them in there. We'll be monitoring and answering them as they come up. And then a copy of the recording will be distributed after the completion of the webinar. I believe, did I miss anything, Satish, before we jump into it?
I think we covered everything.
Okay, excellent.
Sleeping, we can get started. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm Sean, joined by Satish, co-founder here. A little bit about us on the slide.
Hi, guys. Nice meeting you. And happy to be a co-host for today's webinar.
Excellent. And just want to start out with one announcement. We used to be Drupal partners, but we're rebranding. So we'll now be going as Binary Works. So just keep that in mind going forward.
Mhm.
Okay. And the agenda for our webinar today is going to start out with an introduction, and then we'll dive into the shift from search engines to answer engines, and then how AI decides which brands to surface, what those authority signals AI trusts, content format AI understands instantaneously, and technical SEO and structure. So, broken those three into subcategories. Then we're going to go into the winning strategies for ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini. Look at measuring impact, new KPIs for AI visibility, conclusions, common mistakes, how to get started. And again, as I said, we'll probably have Q&A also at the end, but if any questions do arise during the webinar, please put that in. Or if you have some comments you'd like to throw in too, we'd love to hear some of your opinions and perspectives too as we're going through this.
Right.
Okay. So as you know, AI-driven answers are redefining visibility. So 70% of users now expect instant conversational answers instead of navigation links. AI models are summarizing multiple sources, so brand visibility depends on being included in the synthesis, and then poorly structured content gets ignored by answer engines, even if it ranks in SEO. So now, there's the shift. The search, it's going towards answer engines. SEO is kind of being, how can I say it? Not really left in the past, but AI is starting to take over what people are looking for when they are searching. So traditional SEO practices are on the bottom and AI priorities are on the top. You'll notice that now as you're searching. So keywords really now, it's not, how to say it, they're not conversationally relevant. So if you were heavy with loading up your keywords, trying to get captured in those searches, and then now AI, it's going to interpret the intent. It's not going to exact match keywords. Those are going to be ignored. So it's going to look at the intent of the query or the search, the content that you have, how your content is structured, and then those that have the higher trust and relevant sources are going to be moved up to the top. It's not just going to be keyword loading. So rankings are not going to guarantee your inclusion. So just because you were number one on Google, it doesn't mean the model is going to cite you. So I think that's a big determining factor people have to keep in mind. It's how your data is structured, your authority within that data, and that's what it's going to look for, and that's what's going to help you out with these AI engines. So you want to understand the structure and how it matters. So clear, structured content is going to improve the extraction and the answer accuracy. Authority signals are going to drive trust. So you're going to look at expertise, citations, and the consistent facts, which outweigh traditional SEO metrics. Okay.
Sorry.
So it's okay. How do AI agents actually read and interpret? So it's a massive shift from links to direct answers. So LLMs, they rely on a clean structure, not keyword signals like we've said. Cluttered JavaScripts, modals, and dynamic block breaks comprehension. Sorry, dynamic blocks, they break the comprehension. Model map your entities, not your pages. So contradictory facts across pages confuse LLMs. So if you're saying one thing on one page, another thing on another page, and a third thing on another page, it's going to confuse the AI and you're going to lose that authority. AI agents, that's going to stitch your content together. So the fragmented pages, it's going to weaken that context. So you want consistent machine readable data, and that's going to improve the model recall. And then model crawlers, they need access, clarity, and content. So in the new era of AI search, it's not, it's people are looking for conversational queries. The users now ask, they don't search. Queries are conversational and intent rich. People aren't looking just for keywords. They're going to say, like, what is the weather today? Or what is the weather in New York? They're not going to just say weather. AI decision engines like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini act as decision engines, not link lists. So those engines are going to look at your data, put it together, see, okay, is it relevant? Does it answer this query? And then it's going to then bump that up to the top. It's not going to be looking at just what the number one link is, the number two link is, and spitting out a link list. And then intent synthesis. Models interpret intent. It's going to compare options and synthesize trusted sources. Okay, model driven discovery. So discovery becomes model driven. A few high quality signals shape the final answers, and quality first surfacing. So only clear, structured, and authoritative content gets surfaced. Like we said, if there's contradictions, if it's linked lists, if you're loaded heavy with just keywords, you're not going to be appearing in the AI search. So you really have to change how your site's laid out, how it's structured, how it's being read and interpreted to get picked up by AI search.
Okay.
Okay. So now it's the necessity to adapt to this shift. We're going to look at that, what's needed. Okay, so AI answers, they bypass traditional rankings. So ranking number one, as we said before, it doesn't matter if the model doesn't cite you. So for all the work and effort that you put into SEO, if you're not doing what you need to be seen and ranked by the AI, just having the SEO number one search result, it's not going to cite you. So answer engines, they're looking for to extract facts, not your positions. And high authority pages, they can still be excluded from this synthesis. Keep that in mind. And visibility shifts from SERP placements to model inclusion. So again, it's making sure your data is getting captured by these models and included in these models. So brand ranking loses visibility even with solid SEO. So strong SEO, like we said, does not equal a presence in the AI responses. So AI filters out repetitive, unclear, or unstructured content, or also contradictory content. So if a competitor's data is cleaner, they become the model's default source. So traffic loss can occur before you even notice your ranking drop. And then competitive edge goes to LLM optimized content. So again, like we said, the emphasis is on structured, factual, schema rich content, which gets prioritized. Brands that can speak the machine language get amplified in answers, not just your SEO ranking anymore. So models, they reward clarity, precision, and complete entity data. And early adopters, they gain disproportionate visibility across AI platforms. So again, those early adopters, once you're proven to be a trusted source, the models will return to you. But again, it's important to make sure that you keep your data fresh and updated. So you don't want to have stale pages. Okay, and then how is AI deciding which brands to surface? So again, it's going to be the on-page signals for LLMs to evaluate. So it's contextual relevance. So the model is going to look to pick up the content that aligns precisely with user intent. So if the impact is 50 to 70% chance of being cited in AI answers, again, if you're aligning with the user intent. And then the factual depth is it rich, structured details becoming the model's answer material? If that's the case, you're going to be 2 to 3 times higher likelihood to appear in these summaries. And then content structure also comes into play. So if the schema and clean formatting increases extractability, and that can improve your model inclusion by 40%. So again, you want to keep it relevant, factual, and structured properly. Okay, let's go to the next slide.
Do you see that?
Oh, it is. Sorry.
All right.
Okay,
Sometimes
yeah.
I'm
So then
slow
it's
there.
a little slow today. I have my coffee right next to me. I need a little bit once
I understand, Sean.
Okay, so then the brand level signals and LLMs to evaluate, it's looking for your authority signals. It matters because the models prioritize trusted, expert backed sources. And again, you don't want to contradict yourself on your sites. The impact is 60 to 80% higher relevant chance of being referenced. And as I said again, consistency across pages. You don't want that conflicting info. That's going to lower your credibility. And that could actually do a 30% reduction in exclusion risk. Freshness and updates, like I said, recent, well maintained content wins over stale pages. So 25 to 50% higher inclusion in recent answer contexts. Okay, and then LM models, they choose the authoritative sources over popular ones, like we've been stating. So trust signals are going to matter more than traffic. So high quality citations, expertise, and verified data outweighs page views and backlinks. Consistency and accuracy. Some models prefer sources with uniform, fact checked information over popular but contradictory content. And then domain and content reputation. So established credible domains with expert backed content are favored, even if smaller in reach. So again, it's matching that user intent. So if the intent is there and the content is there, it might not be the most popular site, but if it has that expertise in it, those are going to be moved up in those AI ranking results. Any questions there? I know we've put a lot in a short period of time there.
Yeah. What qualifies exactly as authoritative? How does it differentiate between real authority and just authoritative tone and fake citations?
Great question. Satish, do you want to
Yeah.
handle this? And then
Yes. So uh, when we say authoritative, it doesn't mean always the content authoritative. Your site's domain authority, we mean. If your site is a well-reputed one, and if your site is having great backlinks and great references from other big sites, your site's domain authority would be very well established. And these LLMs look at those kind of authority. Okay, they don't take an response from a normal site and then site that is being highly referenced by Wall Street journals and other things. They give higher visibility and higher prominence to those sites' answers. So authoritative is more on the authority content. Domain authority is what we talk about.
excellent. Great question. And then Satish, I'm going to pass it over to you and you'll continue.
Mhm. Great questions. Yeah, please feel to answer ask these questions here. We'll try to explain as much as we could. Again, everybody should know that this is a new area for everybody. Nobody knows how these LLM works. From the way that our team works with many of our clients, we are sharing these feedback to you guys. Of course, LLM is changing every day. Even Gemini changed last week in a much bigger way. So, but there is always some kind of basic concepts like site authority, your content, the way that you talk about solving the client's problem, those things will always be stable. So yeah, so we'll talk about those key pillars of for AI visibility here. So definitely content is more important for these tools also. And but the only thing that differs from SEO is in earlier case SEO, you need to write lot of SEO content, a lot of keyword stuffing were happening at that time. That's not going to be the case anymore. This is going to be more of direct answers, direct questions kind of responses is what expected, and even the format that is expected here is more aligned to that. I hope so. The first one is definitely the structured list and tables. Like if you are selling any development services or any services, you can put a list of companies who are doing similar services, and you can write something around like listicle articles. You can write around that and see why you are better, like a table which can be easily absorbed by these LLMs, or you can write direct answer blogs to questions, or you can write even conversational questions by yourself, like, hey, for example, if a company wants to hire an employee overseas, you can say like how to hire an employee overseas without registering a company. So those kind of research kind of conversational queries you can put it across. And the steps, generally if you look around how to or research kind of questions, generally these LLMs are providing steps. You can also write those steps and provide as a response, and all these should be like a schema marked content on the product, FAQs, all these things. The next one is the Q&A blocks and explainer segments. So again, this is what these LLM tools are best for. People who do a lot of research, they are going to these LLMs. So Q&A blogs, explainer segment, concise description about any product information, use cases, FAQs, all these things you can build on each of these pages. Even if you look at even our website, or all the pages are started to having this kind of FAQ sections or Q&A blocks to make sure that the site is read by these LLMs in a much better way. And the other important thing is the schema backed content. What we mean that is, so if and page that you're talking about, earlier what you used to do is, without schema, whenever you write a product, there will not be any citations, there are not any backlinkings relevant to that topic that you're referring earlier. Now you need to include those citations, any referral government documents, anything like that that makes the clarity about or the authority about your site. You need to bring those to these contents these days. Previously you used to write without any backlink or any authority about the topic that you're talking about. You can write an article, but these sites are now looking for referral sites. Are you referring any topic that is being referred somewhere? Those kind of backlinks are now important for you. And as I said, try to provide as much as answer-ready paragraphs. That's what we call, and try to be like the real author, or we call EAT, expertise, authority, and authority contents. So use real authors, and even if you are you're referring from someone, try to give the backlink or referral domain to them and prove that your authority there. Try to be more self short constrained over on your site. Be more clear. Try to be within smaller length when you're writing about this FAQ. Don't make it too big. So be clear on that. So there is no need to be any keyword stuffing here. Anyway, the system is going to only understand about the concept that you're trying to say. So writing a lot sentence is not required anymore. And the other important thing is the topic clusters. Even in SEO, it has a role, but here it is even important, like interlinking with other articles and creating supporting documents for the topic that you are talking about and referring that. Those things play a significant role. So um, more deep research contents, more deeper expertise signals gives an clarity to these LLMs that you are an authoritative. So try to create that kind of topic clusters and make it visible for these LLMs to crawl. Right. And these are some kind of a topics or contents you can write. And the important thing, the other one is the authority signals for AI trust. So, as we said earlier, like if you get on credibility and reputation from any different sites to your site, you get more visibility. And if your brand sentiment and if you are maintaining your uh, clarity in the content without any conflicts, it again signals that you are a trusted source. And if you are getting reviews, so any PR, something like that, that also signals these tools that you are an authoritative site. So whatever you are doing in SEO plays a significant role here also. So domain authority is again more important now. So try to concentrate on that. And obviously these things have the authoritative sites get more reputed and they get more cited on by these tools. And most importantly, sites that are being referred by these AI tools have the users coming from these AI tools convert better rather than from coming from the SEO engines. So that's why we always try to recommend to provide more authority signals to your site. And obviously the technical SEO structure, we also follow the same here. The important thing is when you need to write the FAQs and how-to sections on your each pages and mark up those as a schema markup as an FAQ sections or how-to sections and share it with these LLMs. So creating that kind of schema markup is important now because those structured snippets is what these tools will refer. And even if they are providing citations for you, it is possible through these schema markups only. And of course, these tools also look for the site speed, make sure the site is loads in less than 2 seconds, and it is mobile friendly, all these things. And whatever you write, clear HTML code, clean code, all these things are important. And don't block the AI crawlers. I know there are so many AI crawlers are coming to the sites nowadays, but at least given access to these major sites like Gemini, Google's one, or ChatGPT and Perplexity. These LLMs are pretty popular now. At least try to allow these crawlers, don't block them. And if it is possible, try to use videos and infographic. Even if you look at the AI overview, started pushing videos also in the AI overview. So if there is a possibility, you can use videos and infographics to give an idea to this tool about the problem you're trying to solve. Right? Any questions? All right, sounds good. All right. So again, there are different winning strategies for ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini. Though these are LLMs, they are work in a very different way. If you take Gemini, they follow many strategies in the lines of SEO. They look for the schema markup, structured information. They look for the factual clarity. They look for the trustworthiness about your brand. And the other one is the topical, the deep research about the topic that you're talking about. So they look for all these things. So still, Gemini gives more relevance to or more weightage to a lot of contents. Um, so if you can, you don't need to write a lot, but in the sense you need to write in deep about any specific topic that you're talking about. That's what Gemini looks for. But ChatGPT, on the other end, they look for these kind of FAQ sections, more conversational questions on the pages. These QA sections is what they look for. So, and also any authority footprints, like any referrals or any backlinks to your site about the topic you're saying. Those things are most important. Again, even here, consistency is a key. Even for Gemini, also the same. Any LLM, you take consistency about the information you share across all the pages are important. So for ChatGPT, you need to work on the Q&A sections or building those Q&A sections on each of your page. So for Perplexity, they are not as very deep as these tools like ChatGPT and Gemini. They are more like an wrapper kind of for these LLMs. They try to bring the LLMs and try to summarize what are the results out there. So they are looking for mostly fresh contents, and if there are any citations, anything external links, and more research backed keywords is what they look for, rather than these kind of Perplexity is very weak in deep research. So they just summarize. If you look around Perplexity response and response of Gemini or ChatGPT, uh, the other two are way strong in the deep research kind of materials. Whereas Perplexity, it will be more citations, more summary of the search results is what they would be. Try to give more fresh content so that your site will be linked more. Would you say Claude works in more like a chat GPT? To an extent, um, to an extent, uh, the number of parameters are, if you look around, OpenAI is using, they have crossed 7 billion parameters now. The way of understanding of ChatGPT, the deep research is way better than Claude. Claude, if you look around, they are also focusing on the enterprise based LLM. They are not going to be like anymore like these kind of OpenAI. The need for Claude is way different than ChatGPT. Claude is more towards the code or for enterprises like financial enterprise. They are more deep in towards that, like an work AI kind of tool. But OpenAI and even Gemini, they are into the deep research. People who are looking for information, they research on these tools. Those kind of deep research, I don't think um, Anthropic has that an answer to that. And even as I said, Perplexity is also not very deep. They, if you look at Perplexity, they didn't build their own LLM. They just written a wrapper on an LLM, but they use multiple LLMs, not just OpenAI LLMs. They have used even DeepSeek. So many LLMs they're using for different use cases. But yeah, I think ChatGPT and Gemini is more appealing to the mass users about for deep research purposes. So, in a nutshell, this is what we would say for each platform's priorities. Perplexity, it's more on the fresh content plus citations. Gemini still use SEO, but also they understand deep research content. ChatGPT is more depth, they want more conversational questions, citations, all these things. So yeah. Any other questions? Okay, I missed one more questions. There's a question like, how elaborate is the content schema you are suggesting? For example, is this something like a document type like XML, for example, TTD, or something simpler? It is simpler, like the content schema can be simpler, like an FAQ sections, whatever possible questions an user can ask about the service or any page that you're talking about. A simple content schema is fine. And all you have to do is pass that as a structured content data to these tools. That's it, nothing pretty big. Simple. You're going to make it more appealing for your users. Whatever they are going to search in Google, earlier we used to do that SEO. Now, what could be an question they will ask these tools to get an answer about you or your brand? You can write in those similar terms and create those contents. Yeah. Right. Additionally, as I said, this ecosystem, AI ecosystem, all they look for is uniform content and consistency is what they matters, and obviously getting backlinks and PR, and you get being referred across multiple digital touch points is what matters for these tools. All right. So the next one is about the measuring impact of how these tools work, all these things. So obviously the KPIs is way different than the SEO that we used to work earlier. There is not going to be more direct links, traffic, all these things are not going to be here. So it is way different. But people are seeing the visibility and the citations. You can monitor those things. I'll talk about that in detail in the next few slides. And sometimes these tools like even Gemini, if you look around the public, they have started giving on the right side the referral traffic links. People are clicking that and coming to the sites, but that is very small percentage so far. But there are many direct, if you look around, look now, there are people coming to the sites directly from searches, and that volume has increased, but however the SEO traffic has dropped. So we'll talk about everything. Whenever we are track about your AI visibility, we also look around how your AI appearance is, what kind of sentiments, and how much you are accurate with the responses, and it needs to be continuously optimized. So the first one I would say is the direct AI metrics, AI traffic metrics. Definitely, as I said earlier, these tools are started giving visibilities to these source content. So some traffic are driven from these tools like ChatGPT. At least Perplexity and other platforms have started providing that. And the other important thing we also started, as I said earlier, the conversion rate of traffic that is being coming from these AI tools are much higher than the traditional search. So we started measuring what is the conversion rates there, and at least you can have an idea. Those are the ROI for the investments that you make to optimize your site to these tools. And how much time they are spending on your site is again an important element. So the time on the site you should start measure, and also start measuring what is the referrals from these tools month over month, to see, are you growing in the right direction, or are you not going, are you not being referred properly? Is there some other information being wrongly mentioned? So you can start measuring all these things, the direct AI traffic. And the other important thing is the brand mentions. Like if you take ChatGPT, like even today when I was researching for one of the client, they were an employer. They were selling employee of records. Like you can hire a remote developer through their payroll system. We were we were writing the talk like how to hire an foreign employee without a company. And there are brand mentions, like these are the brands who does this well. There are more brand mentions on that, so you should start measuring or how frequent your brands are measured by these tools. And the messages that is being shared, like any steps, is that relevant to the way that you have written on your site, and what is the sentiment. So basically you are going to look in the eyes of LLM and see how you are getting responded. So measure that, and if the voice of your brand is not proper in these tools, at least you can start editing your brand voice on your site to optimize them. And so also you can see what content performance indicators, like um, you should also see what contents are getting indexed by these LLMs and used for answers. Sometimes they might take FAQs. Generally what we have seen is FAQ sections are being indexed well with ChatGPT and Gemini. So what kind of contents they take from your site and index, try to get more such kind of contents for your site. So and also measure whether the schema markup is implemented properly for your site, all these things. So try to have a metrics around the contents that you're creating also, which one is getting better engagement or better visibility for these tools. Or you can also ask, even if you go to ChatGPT or Gemini, and you can submit the URL and say how you are seeing this page, what are the elements that you see that you can fix. You can ask that questions to these tools, and it will give suggestions. These are the things I'm missing out. These are the pages I need to read better on your site. So those are again and key performance indicators about your content. Obviously, you know that many of the marketers are now using AI research. So basically, these tools are used across the team for research purposes in many ways. Um, so yeah, whatever contents that you're creating, if it is deep and well researched, that would be useful for these market researchers who are always on these LLMs. Let me see, there is a one question. How is AI traffic information collected? I think you can start seeing that in your GA, Google Analytics tool itself. All these referrals sections, if you go there, you can start seeing that. Yeah, there is no other tools that these companies have provided yet, but it is more like your direct traffic, and basically the referrals are being tracked properly by these tools. I mean, Google Analytics or whatever analytics tools that you're using for your website, they are tracking it well. So for AI, this is again our 4-week roadmap in general. So first, when we are analyzing, what we do is we fix your robot.txt and site speed, all these things. We look around the schema, whether it is created or not, all these things we add. And then we start working on the content, what kind of contents you need, these kind of adding those Q&A blocks or definitions for your contents, we do that. And then once the content and it is crawled properly, then we have to build a trust for your brand. So try to create more authority, backlinks, and referral to your site. All these things we do. And once that is done, start tracking how your answers are in these tools. And if it is not relevant or the tone is not good, optimize or try to make the content, see which content is getting indexed, and then work on. So it is an iterative process, but it is not going to take like how Google was taking earlier. Like they take some sites, they take 1 week to even come back to an index. It's not like that. These tools are very aggressive. They are all they generally crawl the sites pretty regularly these days. So you should see an refresh or any optimizations can be done much faster. So some of the common mistakes people do is, as I said, you don't need to constantly reformat the content. Like you don't need to, like, for example, if there is another new LLM like DeepSeek comes in, I need to optimize the sentence. Uh, don't try to do that. As I said, try to solve a customer problem, write an answer, and try to get more authority, citations, those things. Try to do that. Other than that, you don't need to try it for every AI trend because it is too massive now. Like people are launching new versions every day, and it is very difficult to keep up. But in general, there is a demand and there is a need for problem you are solving. So try to focus on that rather than going after every trend. And keyword stuffing is not going to work out anymore. Try to answer a question as humanly possible and provide with the clarity. That's more important now than ever before. And you don't need to overstructure the structure schema or everything. uh, the contents is to be shared in the schema markup. That's it. There is not required any other schema markups or anything like that. And as I said, people neglect fundamentals. Try to be more accurate and try to be more clear, and don't confuse LLMs because they have more wider knowledge. You look at, as I said, ChatGPT, they have 7 billion parameters being already indexed on the LLM. So it is easily they can understand that whether the information that you're providing is right or not. So they have a massive database around that. So try to be more accurate, more factual rather than conflicting signals. In conclusion, as I said, AI, again, it's not going to be a search. It's more like how people are going to find answers to the problem. Basically, that is what, if you look around the first principle thinking, people going to Google earlier or any other tool is to find an answer to the problem they are facing. So these tools have made that path easier for them. So people want answers, not any more links. So that is the trend. And the structure, like provide more concise answer based kind of answer ready content for website than long pages we used to write. And definitely authority makes builds trust. So try to create the authority, and always try to share these informations you have built, everything, share it in a way. Right now these tools are understanding in the schema markup. Maybe in coming days they may not be even needed. They will understand all these even better. But currently, at least Gemini, from our experience, they are looking for the schema markups. I don't think ChatGPT is looking for that, but by default we are doing it so that they can also, it's not harming, but if you look around, ChatGPT doesn't need that structured data anymore. They just FAQ sections and Q&A sections is what they are looking for. So how to get started? So for all the users who are attending this webinar, we are providing a free audit for everybody. So like you can sign up. Let me give you the link for you guys so you can sign up on that. Just give me a minute. I'm sharing the link. It's a free SEO audit for the users who are attending this webinar. I am sharing it on the. So you can sign up to this page. I've shared it in the chat. Whoever attended, they're getting a free AU audit. We will analyze your site. We'll look what kind of sections you need to add, or if there is any blockings or anything being not making these LLMs more crawl your site. Will assist you on that. So if it again, these are not a big change. Your existing content is good enough to make the sites more visible to these LLMs. So we'll audit that, and you can first see how you are getting responded in by these LLMs. Whatever problem you're trying to solve, search in these tools like GPT, Gemini, see whether your brand is getting mentioned there, or the way that you're trying to solve a problem is mentioned there. If it is not there, if it is not, you are not visible there, that itself is a big red flag for you. We'd be happy to help with that. So try to take this free audit, and we can give you a plan how you can grow and how you can better prepared for this answer engines. Any other questions? Sean, do you want to add anything?
No, I think you covered everything. Thank you.
Any questions? I know it is a lot of content, but people who have used SEO, or if you are aware of the SEO things, these are going to be even much easier. It's right now you need to write contents more like humanly. All right. I hope this is useful for everyone, and thanks for your attending, and we'll share you this presentation and the recordings in a couple of days. I would love to see you guys in another webinar. Thanks for your time. Have a great day, guys.